guys, my name's Gavin and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make virtual beats inside of FL Studio. And just a little side note, I already recorded this, it didn't work. I did something really dumb in the recording process, but we're back and I'm going to see if I can give a better explanation than I did last time, even though last time was pretty good. But yeah, follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at gavinhadley_. DM me, I always want to work with people. I'm hoping my camera doesn't die now that I'm filming this again. And we got screaming going on in the background. It's awesome. Here we are ready to go. And subscribe, let's get this video to like 25 likes. I have a loop kit, it's out, it's free, it's in the bio or the description. And yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna try to do this in an efficient manner. So we have this contact sound. It's like an analog sound from Contact, and I feel like you should really consider getting Contact if you are like in the plugin searching phase. Definitely consider it over Omnisphere at this point right now, with like everything that's going on with like more realistic sounding beats becoming like you know what I mean. So yeah, this is what the MIDI looks like. I was not able to figure out the key, but I started by just going up the scale, trying to like just put in bass notes. This is how the melody started. Like these chords create like an upwards kind of feel, which is it's good for, I don't know, the chords. Okay, let me say that over again. The chords do a really good job setting like the pace or the tone for the melody. So yeah, after that I have these repetitive notes right here that just do a good job setting like the rhythm, the bass rhythm that we worked off of. But here, this is where the rhythm really got crazy, as we go up to these higher notes. So we have this F sharp, and then we have it play and creating a cool rhythm on its own. It's just the same note playing just 4 times. And then I go down the scale here. No music theory really to this. It's just going up and down the scale. And then I go back up to create some sort of contrast. And like this is the this is called the call of a melody. It's like this first part here, and then the second part is the response. And if you don't have like a definitive call and response in your melodies, it's definitely something. It's definitely something to consider when you are making your melodies, to have something in that along these lines. And yeah, it creates like kind of a wave, which is what I say in all my videos. I'm on a big streak right now in my videos talking about this wave thing. I feel like no one really talks about it, and I feel like I do it in a lot of my melodies. And yeah, so I have that wave. But here, just going up the scale and then falling back down, and it stays pretty repetitive the whole time, except I have these notes that kind of transition back into that first notes. But when I make my melodies, I kind of almost backwards engineer. So like I copied this over without having these notes, and then I just try to pick out 2 notes that lead right back up into that one and make it sound good. So yeah, that's basically this. I press Alt R on my keyboard to randomize it. Didn't put any effects on the first melody, and now we can move into the second melody, which is a counter melody that I roughly played on my MIDI keyboard, which if you don't have a MIDI keyboard, I highly recommend that you look into getting one too. It does a good job of just getting out ideas that you probably wouldn't have thought you could do on, or you wouldn't consider doing, like if you're just clicking in notes. So I played this rough rhythm, this F sharp and this E. I played like, it's like kind of a counter into that, like that first melody. And then here, like the original melody, it's going up, but then here we are going down, or the first melody I should say, not the original one. We're actually just going down here, and I added a grace note for a little contrast, and like make it sound more realistic and played out. And yeah, that just loops. I didn't arpeggiate anything. I randomized the velocity of the chords. I'm saying everything wrong. I apologize for that. I randomized the velocity of this melody. It kind of looks like a wave again, just to like resemble like if you're playing it out. Yeah, it gives it like a cool feel when I do it that way too. So this is just going up and down the scale and utilizing these notes next to each other to create kind of like a rhythm, which is really important when you're making these virtual kind of beats. So yeah, it's that. I just put a little bit of reverb on that. Next sound is the bass. It's just following the root notes of our original progression that we did. And then here, lastly, for the melodies, I have this, which is just more of like a simpler kind of counter melody that's kind of tucked in the back. You don't really notice it as much. It's just a little rhythm. and it has this call here, this first area, and then this is like the response. And yeah, just random notes in the scale that I thought sounded good to my ear. And I can't stress this enough, like, if you're not happy with the way I'm explaining this part, like it just sounded good to my ear. I know when I was producing and watching all of these tutorial videos, I would feel kind of the same exact way, like not feeling satisfied because I wasn't getting like that definitive answer, but there isn't one. That's the thing. And like I would be in the same shoes as some of you guys right now. A few months ago, like there's got to be some way to make like the perfect melody. There's not. Um, it's just really just practicing and just knowing your scale, and just trying to arrange stuff in a unique way. That's really all it is, and it just takes time and practice. And yeah, and if you don't like that response still, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is in producing. So yeah, we have that. I did the traditional way that I lay out my loops. I have all 4 of the sounds playing at the beginning, and then I just have one playing after that, and then I chop them up when we get into like this part of like the arranging. I chop them up. So this is like the main melody here, this is the bass, these are the counters. Now here are the drums. So the drums made a pretty cool pattern. Let's see how I did it. So I'm gonna start by muting all of these so you can just hear the drums. I have this clap from a side piece kit. It's probably one of my favorite claps. And then instead of having it just play, let me mute the other drums too. Instead of having it just play like where the traditional clap would go, I also have a clap right here in like the place that like a snare or a perk could go. And I feel like when you're making these virtual beats, it's really important to experiment with doing stuff like that, trying to have the unique drums, unique melodies. And yeah, so now I have this bass little hi-hat here, and it's a cool thing. It's basically just a 2-step. That's what it originally was, but I got rid of the note right here and the note right here to give it a little more bounce. I don't like saying that word. I think that we should all say rhythm instead of bounce. Personally, I've had a conversation with a friend about that too. I feel like bounce is kind of vague. Rhythm, that's really what it is. And rhythm is one of the most important elements when you're making beats. And yeah, when you're making the next beat that you make, really just try to focus in and hone in on like the rhythm aspect to it. And yeah, and also if you're looking for like a different way of making melodies, look up how Palace from 808 Mafia makes his melodies. I think he does a cool job in the way that he goes about it. Like he has a bunch of notes playing on the same, like just creating a rhythm. Pretend this is not a hi-hat. Like he does. See if I can explain this with the hi-hat. He just goes creates a rhythm with his notes before he changes where they're playing, like the note that they're playing. So yeah, that's definitely something, another way that you can make melodies. I've done it a few times. It's cool. It's a good way to like reset your ear and think of new ideas. But then we have this hi-hat that goes in and fills up space where the first hi-hat isn't playing as much. As you can see, this area from like this note to this note, there's nothing really going on. And then right here, there's another hi-hat playing there. They're just layered on top of each other. But here, there's not really anything. And this does a good job of just giving it that virtual feel, like that rhythm. That's really all it is a rhythm. And that just plays the whole time. And for this first hi-hat, I forgot to say this, but like this last note right here, it's just a little bit quieter to add to the rhythm again, give it kind of a different rhythm. But yeah, there's that. What else do we have here? We have an 808, which just following the root notes again, and I wanted to keep the 808 really simple, but I also wanted to have a part that was really unique and stood out, which is kind of hard to do when you're keeping it simple. So that's where I incorporated the unique part, was right here. Let me unmute it quick. I feel like this kind of progression is really common in virtual music. It's like a lot of 808s playing in a short amount of time, but by placing this one here, you add to that like classic virtual rhythm. I'm gonna keep saying it because that's really what it is. And then this one here, you can hear it plays on the clap, which is like a no-no in normal trap music. There's no real rules to music, but it's kind of like an unwritten rule. You don't really want to do that. It kind of sounds weird, but personally, I think it sounds kind of cool. It's unique for this type of music. I wouldn't recommend it for all types of music, but yeah. And then I just have these notes playing twice here. I just thought that the spacing really added It did a good way of, I don't know, wrapping up the 808 pattern and bringing it back into the new set here. So that's that. And then I have a hi-hat, I'm really saying everything wrong, a kick that plays kind of sparingly. I've been doing this a lot in my melodies, and I talked about this in the last time I recorded this. Like, think of the song Audi by Smoke Perp. There's really not, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm thinking of it complete, I could be, I don't listen to Smoke Perp that, I don't listen to Smoke Perp that often, but I know that in a lot of his songs he has not that many 808s and kicks playing, but when they hit, you really like feel them just because there's not as many playing. Yeah, so that's what I have going on here. I just have that one here, and then, I don't know, I feel like by having less, you kind of appreciate them more, and they stand out more in the mix, in like the overall beat, and yeah, it's really good in my opinion to do that. So yeah, after that, that's basically the beat. I just laid it out with the way that I talked about before, and here I have a tremolator on all of the melodies, and you'll hear it. It's really good for like virtual stuff. A tremolator is kind of like cuts out the melody and gives it its own new groove. So yeah, that's basically it. And I just have a riser here to the drums. And yeah, that's basically how I made it. I just put a soft clipper on the master to finish it off. And I talked about this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to explain it as good as I did in the last time I recorded this, but I feel like as producers, sometimes we get like, I know I do this could just be me, but maybe you could relate to this. When we're mastering, or like just what we put on our master channel, I would always do the same thing every time, because I saw producers like Nick Mira and Based One and all of their tutorials, they say the same thing. So I just feel like you have to do that, but you can, I don't know, not all mixes, like the way you mix your beat, it's not going to be the same each time. And I feel like with the master channel, it should be almost like a unique thing every time. I'm not going to say every time, because I think the more experience you get with mixing and stuff, the more you can replicate like the same like mix volume. But for this beat, like I've been experimenting with the limiter, just compressing the beat a little bit more to give it a more, it's mainly just used to make the kick hit a little bit harder. And then I put the soft clipper and raise the post gain. I put the soft clipper below to raise the post gain a little bit to get it back up to 0, because when you compress it, it doesn't let like volume go above a certain amount, basically. So say like 3 decibels right here. So yeah, -3, I don't know what it's called. But yeah, so experiment with your mixer channels, and that's about all I have for this video. I'm praying that it actually recorded this time. Ugh, come on. This has been a rough recording, but yeah, hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you got something out of it. Feel free to subscribe, suggest video ideas if you haven't already, down below in the description, because I'm in need of those. And yeah, also leave a comment what you like, what you didn't like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Keep making beats during this time, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.